I don't blame you for wanting to kill yourself. You have shit parents, shit job, so much pressure to where it doesn't even seem like life is worth living. So here's how to end that with as little pain as possible. If you killed not yourself, but the failure side of you that wastes time, plays video games, binge watches anime, and is a failure, and replaced it with the side of you that's rich, productive, attractive, would you like your life? Would your suffering end? If you killed the version of you that's ugly and replaced it with that Pinterest guy, if you killed the version of you that's broke and replaced it with the version of you that's rich, would your suffering end? If you killed the version of you that has shit skin and replaced it with the version of you that has glass skin, would you like your life? Would your suffering end? If you killed the version of you that's absolutely chopped and replaced it with the version of you that has a perfect physique, would your suffering end? Yeah, it would end. All of your suffering would end if you just killed the failure side of you. Not yourself entirely, but just the side of you that you hate. There wouldn't be any suffering because at that point, all of your life's disadvantages that you get from being a failure wouldn't exist, and so life would actually be easy. And when it's easy, it's actually fun, and you want to make the most out of it. It kind of gets fun now. So you end your suffering without having any pain. You just kill the version of you that's a failure and replace it with the version of you that's perfect. To do that, you need to stop doing the actions of failure and start doing the actions that would make your life easy. Stop gooning for 7 hours a day and start grinding the gym instead. Stop binge watching anime and start working towards a business or a career. Stop bedrotting and start reading. Do the actions that would improve the quality of your life in the long run instead of the actions that would make you hate yourself in the long run. And keep in mind, this work isn't pain. Pain is when you waste your entire week and you hate yourself and you want to kill yourself. This is you putting in effort, putting in work, and then feeling proud after you finished that work because you're one step closer towards eradicating your life's suffering. But if the thing that discourages you is the fact that it's hard, maybe you're tired of existing and the thought of putting in work seems impossible, it's actually doable. Because I've made a bunch of people who wanted to die, who couldn't get out of bed, become locked in on killing their failure personalities and instead becoming absolutely dialed in on life to where their lives are easy, fun, and they don't want to kill themselves. Quite the opposite, actually. They like it a lot. So they ended their suffering in 2 weeks when before they were just as dead as you are. Here's how they did it. That failure side of you that keeps making you relapse and makes you go insane is like a weed in a garden. Every time your mental sanity kind of improves, every time you feel fine for a few days, it always grows back. And then you go back to a depressive psycho episode. And the reason this happens is because that weed would always grow back no matter how many times you rip it off, because the roots of that weed are still in the ground, are still lodged in your head. That's why you always go back to video games, go back to bed rotting, and you always go back to hating your life to where you want to kill yourself. It always repeats because every time you try to escape, every time you try to get better, the roots of that personality that makes you go insane are still in your head. So the only way to get rid of it is to starve that weed by doing absolutely nothing. When you do nothing, you prevent yourself from acting on the decisions that the weed in your head manipulates you to do. When you set up your day in a way where you don't do any actions, you just stare at a wall, you prevent yourself from being like, oh, going on my phone will be fine for just a few minutes to check who messaged me when no one actually messaged you. Oh, I'll just go get the daily reward for logging in, and that's kind of it. I'll do the work that I have to do. I'll be productive. I won't relapse today. Doing nothing prevents you from escalating and escalating to a point where you cut yourself and then you want to kill yourself. And when you prevent yourself from doing that, you essentially forget about those addictions because the failure side of you that makes you always relapse is gone now. It's dead. It's starved. You killed that side of yourself. And now you can lock in on gym, on business, on studies, on career. And when you eradicated that failure side of you, you excel. You become one of those people who's somehow good at everything, which makes life feel fucking lit. And you're capable of doing this. If you can bed rot for 12 hours on your phone, you can bed rot but just stare at a wall instead of stare at your phone. It's the same physical action, except the second one, you starve out the failure personality that always makes you relapse. And this isn't pain, this is just boredom. So you're entirely capable of killing the failure side of you and replacing it with the side of you that is locked in. It's not hard because once you kill it, it actually gets easy. There's no resistance. But this requires action. You can't just be a bitch about killing yourself and not actually do it, even when this requires zero effort, zero physical effort. You just bed rot, but just without your phone, and you stare at a wall. So right now, start bed rotting with intention. Stare at a wall, rethink your life's choices, and make the conscious effort to rot, to do nothing, just without any action, so you prevent yourself from feeding the weed that's in your head, which will make you kill the resistance that's making your life hard. And if you want to do this method flawlessly, if you want to end your suffering as soon as possible, maybe if it doesn't get better, then you might actually kill yourself. DM me on Discord, because all of my clients felt better within the first day. The first day they felt better. And then 2 weeks later, they became their ideal selves. But still, within the first day, they felt a lot better. You know, this reminds me of this ad that I saw in the subway where it was like instant depression relief when they were selling a drug, which is like, that makes you feel better, but it doesn't make you become better. So if you want to become better fucking fast, I'm literally 2 weeks and you become perfect, DM me on Discord and I can make that happen for you.